So this is one of your favourite spots?
This is one of my favourite spots in Barossa. You got 360
It's amazing,
degree
isn't it?
views.
He's the man transforming the way we look at the Barossa Valley, and Dragan Radocaj is quickly developing a following for his magical photos.
Dragan, your work is quite simply beautiful. How hard is it to capture the beautiful images that you do all around the Barossa Valley?
I guess you have to be there right time. Living in Barossa helps a lot because if I'm in my place in Tanunda, I can see the light and I can tell now when the light is good for the photographs.
Some of your work, looking at it, almost looks, and not to be offensive, it almost looks too perfect. They're art.
Thanks very much for that. Yeah, I mean, I guess whoever see those panoramas or images, I wanted to have the same feeling what I got when I was there, capturing that moment.
Yeah. What is it about the Barossa that makes it so attractive for you?
The light in Barossa and the colours of Barossa, which change almost every few weeks. And it's so complex. You got the Barossa Valley, you got the Eden Valley, and they're totally different. It's almost like seeing the frames. Everywhere you go, you see the photo.
Dragan was born in Sydney, but English wasn't his native language, as he returned to his parents' Serbian homeland as a baby, but then returned to Australia in his 20s.
I wanted to come back to Australia. It was my destiny, I guess, being born in Australia. And during that war in the Balkan Wars, actually it saved my life. It was compulsory in former Yugoslavia. Once you turn 18, you have to go to the army. You don't have a choice. Yeah. I was in the Navy and my time was up, ready to go home. I put the civilian clothes, went to the Croatian civilian bus and Croatian paramilitary. They stopped the bus in the middle of the night. They went again to my Navy ID and they saw I was born in Australia. He said, let him go. And that's it. It probably saved my life.
That's extraordinary.
And since that moment, I knew Australia was my destiny. I came back to Australia as soon as I could.
I'm so jealous. You're so talented, because I'm hopeless with a camera. But to just be able to capture the essence, not only of the geography, but of the person and the soul.
Yeah, I guess I don't like posed portraiture.
Yeah.
I like that, to take time and capture that moment.
And that's evident in photographs like this of Orlando Wine's legend Colin Gramp. Yet another of Dragan's works which captures just that something extra.
He said to me that morning that was his most memorable morning of his life, and he never saw Barossa actually like that before, and he's in the 90s. And
it's a huge compliment.
That was a huge compliment. I was very flattered about that.
And you've done some other wonderful shots of, of people in the process of, picking and wine making and some of the real characters around the area.
Yeah, I did, and especially at Rockford.
Yeah.
I mean, Rockford, which last vintage, I almost become part of the crew. When they have a morning coffee, I was including that coffee as well. They bring me coffee as well before they start the vintage. And I become so close with Robert O'Callaghan. And so when you're close with someone, so you can capture these moments, which I captured in that photograph of Robert blending.
And there's a real earthiness about some of those photos too, that it is very much still traditional and hands-on and everything that we think about when we think about, the essence of the Barossa.
Of course, yeah, try to show the people that, to make the good wine, the great wine is an art. From the growers who grow the wine, to the cellar door people, to the winemaker, it's an art. And then being in Barossa, I get to appreciate that, and I'll try to get that on photo so people can appreciate more wine like I do now.
You like a drop of wine?
Obviously, Barossa Shiraz is my favourite. Living in Barossa, that's it. Yeah, I wasn't a big wine drinker before I came to Barossa, but like I said, seeing all the process, I just fell in love with it.
So you're learning to appreciate your art?
I appreciate every drop of that wine. every single drop I appreciate now.
Your work is all over the Barossa, and some of the most famous vineyards and wineries around the region are now proudly displaying your work.
Oh, yes, they are, yeah. They are. And like I said, I'm very proud of it. I'm very proud, and people welcome me here in Barossa, me and my family, from the first day when I started shooting in Barossa. And I think that was my biggest reason I moved to Barossa, the people, and growing up in a small village in Serbia, which has got 1,500 people, this is more like really natural to me, to live in Tanunda, and you walk down the street, everyone knows you, say hello Dragan, and you say hello, and it's a beautiful place, and yeah, so I'm very proud, really, to be part of Barossa.
So, Sydney, Yugoslavia, back to Australia, into the Barossa. Is this the end of your journey, or could you move on somewhere else?
Whatever happens, Barossa forever. It's going to stay in my heart.